To give some background information to my talk, in September 2017, Hurricane Maria struck Puerto Rico, devastating the island. Shortly after, starting in 2018, the University of Illinois began collaborating with a Puerto Rican non-governmental organization called Caras Causa to help with the disaster relief and resilience efforts on the island. Caras Causa has programs to help the local ecology, economy, and educational systems in Puerto Rico, specifically in the Cataño and Guaynabo areas close to San Juan. As part of the 2020 to 2021 INFEWS-ER Disaster Relief and Resilience cohort, I, along with other graduate students from different disciplines across the United States, was tasked with helping Caras Causa to create an online literature database to expand and diversify their funds when they apply for grants. The literature database consisted of literature relevant to two of Caras' main programs, an environmental citizen science program and a STEM education program. The literature database was created with Zotero, and we created it to be as easily accessible as possible. While working with Caras, my peers and I learned many lessons in stakeholder engagement. First, goals and expectations should be clear. When we first started working with Caras, they explicitly told us what they wanted and the timeline of our project. This was helpful because without this clear understanding, our expectations may have not been the same. This also made it easier for us to conduct the project, knowing exactly what Caras actually wanted and needed. Also, we learned that you should engage your stakeholder in every step of your project. As we progressed through our project and made our literature database, we had many questions about what platforms to use, what kind of literature to include, what keywords we should search for when finding papers, and how to make the literature database as accessible as possible. Through talking with Caras every step of the way and having multiple meetings with Caras, all of our questions were answered. Moreover, my peers and I learned that you should be open to changing your plans. Since we were a group of graduate students across the United States, none of us were physically in Puerto Rico, and we did not have a full contextual and cultural understanding of the communities Caras Causa actually works with. What we originally thought was going to be helpful to Caras actually wasn't, and we had to listen and take note of our stakeholders' wants and needs. From all of these lessons learned, we also created a framework for community-focused academia-NGO collaboration, as you see to the right. The first step is to create a long-term established relationship. As I mentioned previously, the University of Illinois has been working with Caras Causa since 2018. The second step is trust. An established, long-lasting relationship leads to trust between the two partners. It also builds knowledge about the other group and their capacities. The third step is communication. Communication furthers project formation and collaboration. Communication should be happening at every phase. The fourth step is actually conducting a project between the stakeholder and academia, in this case, the NGO and academia. Finally, the fifth step is capacity building. Building the capacity of Caras Causa will strengthen the communities that they work with. We gave Caras a product that they were able to independently utilize once we finished the cohort challenge. While all of these steps are happening, accessibility and inclusivity should also be utilized. From the INFEWS-ER cohort and our project, my peers and I gained numerous transdisciplinary skills, such as stakeholder engagement, large team project management, and how to communicate across disciplines. We additionally learned how to think, design, implement, and deliver research projects that are not only beneficial in the academics' eyes, but also beneficial to the NGO and the communities that they serve. Ultimately, we as cohort members gained invaluable experience and skills in stakeholder engagement with which we can, and some already have, implement in our future work and careers.